Now in this video, I'm going to teach you a right arm move in the downswing that is shared by all top players in the world and even low handicap players. So that really good player at your club, he'll be doing this move as well. And I can guarantee 90% of you out there aren't doing this move, and you need it in your golf swing to be a consistent and powerful ball striker. So I'm Jonathan Chown with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. So what is this right arm move that we see all good players do? And that is called right arm connection in the downswing. So you can imagine that as your right arm just being completely pinned to your side coming through the golf ball. You can think of even your right elbow being pinned to your side as you're turning through the shot. So why this is such a good move is because one, it's going to keep, like we said, it's called right arm connection. It'll keep your arms generally more connected to your body. So your hands and your arms will be more controlled by what your body's pivot is doing. So if you're a golfer who wants to be able to turn a little bit better, rotate a little bit better through the golf ball, you absolutely need this. This right arm needs to be pinned to your side to be able to turn through the golf ball. So one area, it will help you rotate better in the golf swing, so a much more stable club face going through the golf ball. Also there, it's going to really help you with shaft pitch in the downswing. So in more layman's terms, how your club shaft is moving. So the shallowing movement. For my right arm to get pinned, it has to move down in this fashion. The right elbow has to actually start to move more in front of me here. So we know that move will cause you to shallow the golf club. So again, you'll be swinging a little bit more on path. Your angle of attack will be a little bit better. And also, what does shallowing the shaft do? It helps you rotate through the golf ball. So they're both things that help you really turn through the ball there. A move we always see these top players do. So what are golfers doing instead of connecting that right arm? Of course, they'll be disconnecting that right arm. So what is that going to cause in the golf swing? Pretty much the opposite of what we just talked about. So when your right arm's disconnected, that means your arms are not traveling with your body's pivot and rotation. Your arms are going to be moving separately, and they're going to be behind your body, because if your right arm is disconnecting, your arms are getting further away from you. So I'm not necessarily talking about further behind as in swing path. That can happen, but I'm more talking about distance away from you, a little bit too far away from you here. So that means when you're coming through that golf ball, let's say you just freely turned through that golf ball, you did a good move. You're going to hit the ball very, very fat. So what's going to happen? Your club needs to catch up to that golf ball if your right arm's disconnected because it's too far away from you. So what we normally see, a player's body would stop rotating, so you'd stop turning, and we would normally see a bit of a throw of the club, a bit of a cast, early release shot, just an effort to get this club back onto the golf ball, and almost just knocked it off my platform there. So we see players just early releasing the club. Makes perfect sense. Arms being away from you, the only way for you to get the club onto the golf ball is just to throw the club at it. Extremely common. So you'll hit high shots, might hit the ball a little bit left, won't be the ideal for you, just won't be hitting the ball as far as you could do. So that's one big thing, casting it. So another one is the opposite of the shallow shaft, which is a steep shaft. Because a lot of players who are disconnecting, their right elbow is doing a very opposite move. So we get up to the top, again, they could be in a brilliant position here, but instead of their right elbow going in, which will get you connecting your right arm to your body, there would actually be, their right arm will start going out behind them, which will get that elbow further away from you to create a bigger gap between your arm and your body. So when that elbow starts to point behind, which disconnects the right arm, you can see how that club starts to steepen. So we will see many things happen from there. Maybe a big over the top type of move, very steep, big divots. Maybe we might see an early extension to manage that shaft coming into the golf ball. We will see, just in general, your body stop doing a decent dynamic movement. It will, of course, still move dynamically, but it won't do the dynamic movement we want, which is nicely turning freely through the golf ball. Some moves generally we can't make work all that great. So how do we get that right arm connecting to get all these nice benefits from it? Of course, we need a good drill to do, but we're not going to talk about one drill, we're going to talk about two. One drill is going to be without a golf ball, so to train at home, and the other drill is a really, really good one that you can do with a golf ball, and funnily enough, you can actually do it on the golf course as well, which is legal to do in the rules. We see a lot of top tour players do it. So let's talk about the one we can do at home first. So we know if that elbow, the right elbow, starts to get more in front of our body, our right arm is naturally going to get more connected as it comes down into the downswing there. So ultimately what we want to do, that right arm, that right elbow needs to start moving in front of us, just like this here. So if we can do that, we can be more connected. So a perfect drill here is called the Nunchuck Drill. And that is where you grab your club with your right hand into your right palm, and you grab the club head and you flip it so it's on the right hand side of your right forearm. Now we grab it with our left hand, so grab the grip with your left hand. Now you turn up to the top of your swing. Now all you do is you do some little repetitions of kind of like a quarter of the way down, and as you're moving down into that downswing, you're pulling it in front of you with your left hand. So that's getting a very exaggerated move of that elbow getting in front of you, which you can see from this angle, gets that right arm connecting very, very nicely. Now, doing this a lot is going to give you a bit of a shoulder workout, that's for sure. It's going to increase some range of motion in your shoulder capsule there. It's a very good shoulder stretch. So to be warned, your shoulder will feel a little bit stretched after it. But if that, let's say if your shoulder's really feeling quite stretched, that's a sign that it's a little bit of a shoulder mobility issue, why you could be struggling with this as well. So having a good few reps of this is very good because you're forcing it to happen, you're forcing it into position. That's why dry drills are so good. It's drills without a golf ball. It's because you can do the move exactly how you want to, or maybe even more over exaggerated than you might want to do it, which will ingrain the movement into your golf swing faster. So that's dry drill. Do as many as you can at home. There will be no limit to how much you could do. Obviously, if your shoulder's feeling a bit too sore, give it a little bit of rest. But okay, what's the one with the golf ball? So we're doing a lot of that. We could do this in between shots for sure. In between hitting balls, absolutely, gives you a good feeling. But the one with the golf ball, really easy drill to do. Well, golf, isn't it? Easy in theory, hard in practice. So nothing's easy in golf. So, right, glove. So we need our glove. So take your glove off if you wear a glove, and then what you do, you put it underneath your right arm. So underneath, kind of like your right armpit area. So, right, if I do a bad move here, and this right arm starts to disconnect, it's going to fall to the ground straight away. So that glove is going to just drop straight down to the ground. Obviously you can see exactly what I want to happen here. I don't want this to drop. That's pretty much it. I don't want it to drop at all. I want it to stay underneath my right arm the entire swing, even through to the finish. We still want it nice and connected there. So if we hit a shot, keep it underneath our right arm, we're going to be way more connected. So let's have a little look here and let's have a little shot. So, one, that felt unbelievably good of a golf swing. Because what it does, other than, of course, keeping this underneath your arm, a lot of you guys, when you do this drill, you're going to feel like your body and your chest, for example, has turned so much through that golf ball. Because it really forces the connection to happen, it forces that rotational move to happen as well. So it's absolutely awesome. So another one here, really just feeling like it's just staying underneath my right arm for as long as I can. And you really feel like you turn quite nicely through that golf ball. Awesome, absolutely love it. So again, at the range, you can think of a good little routine you can do. You can do the nunchuck drill in between shots. You can do some nice ones there, and then get the glove back out of my pocket that I just put it back in again, and then put that glove underneath your arm and do a couple swings and go back and forth from those two. It's going to be the best way for you to practice this move. There isn't going to be a better way to practice it than that, to get this right arm move going in there. So that's on the driving range, that's in practice. You can do this in the net, of course, as well. But what can you do on the golf course? You can do something that so many top players do. And what this is, now, depending on how baggy of a shirt you are wearing, let's say you're wearing quite a baggy one, for example. Not really, but I can grab enough here. And what I can do, grab that bit under my shirt, and then just put it underneath my right arm like that. So I've got the same sensation now that I would have with the glove underneath my arm. But I can do this on the golf course because it's not something that's external that I'm using. It's part of my clothing that I'm wearing. I can just tuck that underneath my right arm. And now if I keep that little bit that's tucked underneath there, in there all the time, I'm going to be having that same connected right arm. Because if you disconnect it, you're easily going to feel like this starts to fall away. Baggier the shirt you wear as well, the more you will feel it here. So again, you could go out on the golf course and get this move into your golf swing quite fast, because there will never be a swing, if you're doing this on the golf course in every shot, never be a swing where you're not getting practice for this move. You'll be practicing it on every shot of golf that you will hit, practice and on the golf course. So that's going to improve you like crazy. So again, let's have a little shot here. exactly the same feel that created. That felt no different to using the glove there. So absolutely awesome one to be doing there. It's like you notice there's always guys on tour doing this. Watch Justin Rose sometimes, he'll do that, he'll do both arms, so obviously getting the connection of both there. So absolutely, to get this right arm move that we see all top players doing, we can just do this practice structure. It's really, really good to do. Hit so many birds with one stone, more so than just the right arm being connected. Because like we said, what does right arm being connected encourage? Good rotation, good ball striking because the arms and hands are controlled by the pivot, good shaft movement, shallow in the shaft. This is why good players do it. It's because it really encompasses all these good movements to happen with just one thing. So if you enjoyed this video here, guys, of course, click that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button and hit that bell button too to be notified every single time I put out a video. So do this right arm move, you're going to be hitting the ball so much more consistently.